guys, I'm Laura. Welcome to my channel. So today I am going to share with you all my long, treacherous fitness journey. Well, yeah, it's kind of long. It's like, I feel like it's in parts. So basically, I am 23. I started weight training 6 years ago, my last year of high school in grade 12, and my first actual interest in fitness started when I was 12. So I was 12, grade 12. Yeah, not funny. Okay, so yeah, so it started when I was 12. Basically, I matured very early. So I already had like an adult body, and when all my friends still had like children bodies, so I was like a little bit bigger than everyone else. So I was kind of self-conscious about that. So I took it upon myself to start working out and eating well. It's not good eating. I was basically thinking that I had to starve myself to lose weight. So yeah, and even my workouts were not good. I was doing way too much cardio, all cardio, like hours of cardio, and like just like workout videos with just like body weight exercises. And I just was not seeing results, basically. Because I couldn't stick to that, and it was like unrealistic. But then one day, when I was like 13, there was like this, for one of my good friend's birthdays, we were going to go to this water park where you like stay in this hotel, and it's like an indoor water park, and it's so much fun. It's called Great Wolf Lodge. It's in Niagara Falls. And these friends at the time, they like took a lot of pictures, and I was like, everyone else is so much skinnier than me. I am going to look like a whale next to everybody else, so I need to lose weight fast. So I did. I like starved myself, did hours of cardio, and the day arrived and I was like not good. Like I was like 93 pounds, and at the time like that was way too skinny for me. Like I would say a good weight for me back then, because I had less muscle, was about like 115 pounds. Now I'm like 130 range. I don't really weigh myself, so I don't know. But yeah, back then 93 pounds was way too small for me. Like I was the same size as the rest of my friends, but for me this was not healthy. Like I was so underweight, like so skinny. It was not healthy how I achieved it whatsoever. So I was happy for my pictures. So then basically after that, it was like pretty cold outside. Like it was around Christmas, and I remember going for like a long run outside in the cold, and I guess, I don't know, because I wasn't eating, my immune system was just like bleh. So I got really sick, like with like bad bronchitis, so I couldn't work out for a while, and it was also around Christmas, so I was eating a little more, and then I obviously gained weight. And then from then, like that was just like that was done. After that, like it was just it was just like a big struggle. Like yeah, like so yeah, that would have been grade 8, and then it was throughout all of high school a huge struggle. I kept trying to do the same thing I did to get like that, and I just couldn't stay on track. Like I couldn't do it. I was like the queen yo-yo dieter. Like basically I would bring, like, I remember one time bringing like a banana to school for lunch, and my friends were like, that's all you're eating? Like, why aren't you eating? And I was like, that's what you do to lose weight. Like, I need to lose weight. So obviously that didn't work. Like I would bring that kind of food with me to school for lunch, and then I'd be starving, obviously, and then I would just go home and overeat and eat so much, and it was just a vicious cycle of like starving myself and then binge eating and doing all that. And then yeah, it just wasn't good. Not to mention like my workouts were just like not efficient. So then I got to grade 12, and I somehow stumbled upon weight training on the internet. I do not remember where. I think it was on like Tumblr somewhere. But basically I saw it and I was like, wow. And like they were just talking about how like you can lift a lot of weight, and it's like not gonna make you a big bulky gorilla. And I was like, okay, I'm listening. So then I just like started doing more research on that, and then there was a gym class in grade 12, and I hated gym class. Like, gym class was not my friend. I was always so bad at sports. Like, team sports, like any type of sport with a team, not my forte. I was awful. I was so scared. Like if you made me play like soccer or something, I'd be like screaming and crying, like not even on purpose, like oh my god, like no, I was like terrified. So just yeah, not good. Like I was good at like individual kind of sports. Like I grew up with a pool, so I was really good at swimming. But yeah, throw me on a team, like no, just count me out. So basically I was like, yes, weight training, lifting, workout, gym class, this is what I want to do. So I did that. It was like a guy and girl gym class, and I remember like, I think people laughed at me a lot because I was like the only girl working out, and I like didn't look fit, and like I don't know, I just think they might have been, I don't know, because like all the other girls would just like chill, maybe do some abs and like stretch on the mats, and I would just be like teach me how to work out. And like I was just trying really hard. Like that's been like my one thing always. Like I've always like, if I'm gonna work out, I'm like going hard or not doing it at all. So like I'd be like going crazy, and then I'd be like so embarrassed going to like my next class after that because my face would be like so red, like it would like literally be like my shirt. But then yeah, I was really enjoying it. Like I loved it. But I still didn't know what to do diet-wise. Like, I would just try and do what I was doing. I would just, like, under-eat, try and eat just really, like, healthy. And I just couldn't stay on track with that. Because, like, I love food. Like, just, it was boring, and I just was hungry, and it was just hard. So I couldn't do it. And then, after I graduated high school, sometime in my year off, again, I don't remember how, it was just a blessing. I somehow stumbled upon tracking macros. And I was just like, oh my god, this is like crazy. Like what? I was like, people, like I stumbled upon like the people that do like Pop-Tarts and stuff a lot. Like that's not really something I commonly fit into my macros now because it's less filling. Like 200 calories of a Pop-Tart is not as filling as like some big bowl of healthy food. But the point is, like I stumbled upon that and was like, oh my god, like you can eat this food and still make progress. Like mind blowing. So I started learning, like I figured out, I just like looked everywhere on the internet. I was like, how can I calculate what macros are right for me? I was like, because I know the calculators, like I read that like the calculators are inaccurate because they underestimate for your body, blah, 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 blah. But like I was just like determined. So I figured out what my macros would be. I thought they were good. Looking back, I like saw a picture of it on Instagram and I was like, whoa, those are bad macros. I had like crazy high protein, like, and really low carb, which works for some people, but like the really high protein thing is like not necessary. I was eating like 200 grams of protein. So, but yeah, that is what got me to stay on track. Like finally learning to track macros. I finally started like building muscle and seeing the results I wanted to see. And I was happy with it. I was like, this is perfect. This is great. But I still kind of was struggling with yo-yo dieting because although I was tracking macros and I like had balance and didn't feel like deprived within the types of foods I could eat, I still like I would still try and lose weight too fast. So like I wouldn't be under eating terribly. Like I would be starting off with like a good amount of calories, like 1,700 calories, and like I would be losing weight, but it was just too rigid still. Like for me personally, if I want to have a really good cheat meal, like I can't fit that into 1,700 calories. Like that is one thing. People are always like, you don't need cheats if you track macros because you can fit it in your macros. And I'm like, no, you can't. Like, have you ever seen like really like one big meal at a restaurant is like 1,700 calories, but then that's not including dessert. Like you always have to have dessert, like always. Like it's not a question. So yeah, so that would be my thing. I would be like, okay, well, I gotta stay on these macros. No days off of these macros. Like, I just didn't know, like, that you could have some days off. So I would stick to my macros for weeks, and I'd see really good results, like, really fast. Like, I remember, like, I was going to a big gym, like Good Life, and people would be like, whoa, you lost weight so fast. Because I would just, like, stick to my macros, like, perfect, on the dot. Every weekend, not a day off. And like, yeah, I had good results. But then one day I would just be like, I need food outside my macros. And then it would just be like, like going crazy, eating so much. And it was just like, it's back to kind of yo-yo dieting still. So that's how that went. And then, so I kind of struggled on with that again for a few years. So basically the change between then and high school was once I started counting macros, I could at least get to the results, but I couldn't quite figure out how to maintain them yet. Whereas in high school, I just couldn't do anything. I was just a blob. So yeah, so that was the struggle until about 2 years ago. So I've been lifting for 6 years, and there's been times within the journey, like I said, I would go up and down in weight because I just couldn't figure out, how do I feel not restricted within counting my macros. So yeah, there was times where I would like gain weight and then start losing weight, and people would be like, did you stop working out? You look amazing. And I was like, actually, I've been working out for 4 years, but like I just couldn't get my shit together diet wise. So that was like a huge key. Like obviously, like diet is like the main thing. Like I said, like I was, some of these times when I've been like heavier or lighter, I've had the exact same workouts, but just not diet on point. Not, yeah, you know what I mean? It was just, diet was just a disaster. So you couldn't tell I worked out really. So basically, yeah, it's been about 2 years now that I've been able to not be like up and down with my weight, and it's like, it's great. So basically my solution was to give myself some days of a little bit more flexibility, like having a day where I can, like on the weekend or like just some days here and there, where I can go off my macros and just like not be so strict with it. So like just kind of like enjoy myself and then just get back on track. And that is kind of what helps me stay sane. And then, yeah, that's been the solution. So like I'll still fluctuate a little bit in weight, which is normal, but it's not like to the point of before where it'd be like, oh, multiple sizes bigger for my clothes. Like right now it's like I'll be a little bigger and a little smaller, but I'm still fitting into the same clothes. So we don't need 2 wardrobes anymore. It's a step in the right direction. Like, yeah, like that feels healthy now. Like if there's like an event or like summer body, like then, yeah, and then I'll be a little leaner, or like now I'm just like, yeah, I'm a little more chill, a little bit up, but not like crazy insane weight fluctuations where you're like, oh, yesterday you were this weight, today you're a different person. Like, yeah, none of that anymore. So yeah, like it's funny, like looking back, it's like really obvious, like adding in weight training, not being crazy restrictive. It's just like, it's obvious, but it's not at the same time, because I still have clients all the time coming to me being like shocked when I tell them they can eat and they should lift weight. Like they'll be like, why did you tell me to eat so many calories? Why are you telling me to lift weights? Like I want to lose weight. I don't want to be a big bulky man. And I'm like, it's okay. I went through this. We're good. And like, I don't blame people at all. Like I thought that for very long. And like, I think weight training is a little bit more, like, more women are doing it now, for sure, but it's definitely still a thing that not everyone realizes is not going to make you blow up. It's just not common, 100% known by everyone yet, which is fine, but I want to share the message that you don't have to starve yourself. That is still a lot not known, and I'm just like, don't starve yourself! Like, it's just like my passion. I'm like, I went through this for like 10 years, please stop. Like, this is not the answer. But yeah, you learn, you live, and you learn. And that's basically my journey. So now I'm just still loving the weight training. It's a little bit on hold. I've had bad tendonitis in my wrist since January, and I've been going to physio for it, and it hasn't been helping, and they've instructed me to just not hold weights, which is hard because I'm a personal trainer. So, you know, when you're like spotting a client benching and you're like, oh my god, I gotta hold the weight and I don't want to crush your head and I can't hold the weight. Yeah, so it's hard. It's rough. But so basically, yeah, my actual weight training is a little bit put on hold. I can basically do lower body legs. I can do lower body, but it has to be like with machines or something where I'm not holding weight. So like I can do hip thrusts if I don't really hold the bar too much, like, you know, stuff like that. So I'm working around it. It's a little annoying, but it will get better because I do have an appointment for a shot next week. So I'm excited and a little nervous. And yeah, that is my journey. It's not been like a linear path. It's kind of been like, woo. But I think now I'm kind of like slightly just good. It's good now. Like I've figured out what works for me. I feel comfortable with what I'm doing. I feel like I can live like a balanced, happy lifestyle, and that makes me like really happy because then I can share it with my clients and I can like better help other people. Like obviously you have to know what works for you before you can help other people. I mean, obviously what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for everyone, but it's like the concepts, like across the board, you don't starve yourself, you don't need to do hours of cardio. Whether you're tracking macros or not, you don't have to be extremely restrictive, you can have some flexibility. So yeah, that is my story. Thank you for watching this video. I'm very excited. So yeah. Hello guys! That was really awkward.